little bit about what you have witnessed from addiction in Atlanta?
It's everywhere. You can kind of see it, just all the homeless people around it. Just kind of, it takes over who they are, and they just lost themselves entirely and live their lives in the streets. I've had friends who've gone to rehab. It's kind of just people that go to college and just kind of get lost in that aspect of it until they lose everything.
Have you guys had any personal experiences with addiction or drugs?
Well, I started using drugs at a very early age, and I got addicted to heroin when I was about 15 years old. And I was a heroin addict up until the age of 22. I believe part of the root to my addiction was acceptance, just finding that acceptance in a crowd of people that, you know, whereas I didn't think I fit in with these people over here, my addiction allowed me to fit in with the kids that I thought were cool. Due to my addiction, I became homeless, I became a prostitute, I discovered an underworld that I had never known existed before that point. And it wasn't up until about a year ago that I found the help that I really needed, and I was able to overcome that.
What is your perspective on addiction in Atlanta? Do you have any experience?
I do have experience. I live in a very low-income area, Candler and Flat Shoals, and going from living in Buckhead, Brookhaven to Candler and Flat Shoals and seeing how addiction affects especially lower-income people is devastating.
Do you have any personal opinions on how we could make a difference in that area?
Providing a dual-pronged approach, both spiritual and psychological, because a fundamental aspect of addiction recovery, especially in AA, NA, CA, is advocating that spiritual growth, but it really needs to be integrated into every aspect of who a human being is, not just compartmentalizing one or the other.
I was on drugs too, and I lost everything. My family, my kids, everything. And I'm building back up now. I've been sober about 10 months. And I went to Out of Darkness too, and you feel like when you're on drugs and stuff, you feel like no hope. You're so hopeless, and you feel like no worth. You feel nobody cares, and then like calling Out of Darkness and going to a place where like somebody knows your name and somebody cares and sees your future. Like it's really amazing, and I think it's worth it because you get to a point where you don't know what to do, and like you've tried everything, and like your best trying is not getting you anywhere. And for me, I gave up that control. I gave it to God, and I'm like, here God, like I screwed it up, and like I gave him the control, and he has just really like taken me in his hands and just like has really guided me every step of the way. And I just rely on him and trust him, and he hasn't led me astray. So
that's awesome. Thank you both so much for sharing all of that with us. And congratulations on your sobriety too. I wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.